Yo, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Ocean. This is Ocean's View. And well, I'm in the building. Negro's not in the building, but he's still here. He's still here and everything. Willie Negro in the building, of course.
What up? What up?
40%. You better get this straight for what we doing on this damn Zoom because we don't be wanting to waste this good old content on everything else. So I was listening. I had my Apple Music and stuff on random. Actually, no, I was in the barbershop. So I'm in the barbershop. So they playing 90s joints or whatever, 80s, 90s, 2000. And a Prodigy joint came on. And I like Prodigy. I like Mobb Deep. Just to preference that. But the truth has to be the truth. On a scale of 1 to 10, as a lyricist, Prodigy is a 6. A ceiling 7 to me. That's he's not, I can't give him 8, I can't give him 9, I can't give him 10. Now, this is my thing. Some people are actually lyricists that just, they just say a lot of dope things and flows and all this other stuff. And some people are pretty decent lyricists and can rap, but they make real good songs. They have good concepts behind them, and you just feel them. I think Prodigy is on that wavelength of it. Because I never thought that Mobb Deep as a group was like lyrically powerhouses. Like, I never considered them somebody that could go against the Locks. And the thing about it is they make good albums. The Infamous is a classic album. Godfather Part 3, whatever, that album, Murder Music, good album. Yeah. So they come with good products. H&IC was a good solo project for Prodigy. But stripping everything down from the albums and Mobb Deep and all this other stuff, just straight listening to his bars, man, Prodigy is a 6. That's as far as I'm going with it.
I mean, I had this argument back then. You know what I mean? Because I was actually arguing with somebody. Somebody said that this was in probably late 90s, early 2000s. Somebody was trying to tell me that Prodigy was better than Jay-Z. And of course, I was sensational in the argument. I said he was trash and all this stuff. Yeah. But I'm like you. I like Mobb Deep. I think production wise, I think that Havoc just know how to put together a song. You know what I mean? I just think that he is one of the greats. I don't think he gets looked at enough as a person who know how to put together a record. Like this is a hood banger. Like you want a hood classic. Not a radio bang, like a hood classic. Havoc know how to arrange it. You know what I mean? I think Prodigy was more of a personality type nigga. You know what I mean? Like he was a personality, and he said some slick shit, but rapping, I couldn't get past the not rhyming shit. Like that shit was trash. Like he would just be in raps and just stop rhyming. Like he would be saying some slick shit, but it just don't rhyme. Like, and I'm like, that's the whole point of this. I can't get past it. I could let 1 or 2 lines go, but sometimes he just be all over the place. You know what I mean? And it was more slang than bars. You know what I mean?
That part right there. Because even though this was on the QB project, when I had enough of it, and when I mean enough, I don't mean that I didn't listen to any more Mobb Deep or Prodigy, but it was one of those, you know how you already have certain thoughts, but then somebody does something, you be like, you know what? That was the last straw. What I was thinking was just stamped. And it was on the QB's Finest record with Nas and all of them, with all the dudes from Queensbridge and everything. And when this nigga Prodigy said, yo, we like that snowball going downhill, we getting large, I was like, you know what? That's it. I said, that's it. I said, I have given him enough chances to really wow me lyrically. And once again, like you said, it's a personality. But you know what's crazy about subpar lyrics is when people try to explain it to you. Like I even find it hilarious when people try to explain some part lyrics to me as if I don't understand, but they try to make it sound deeper. Like I remember telling a friend of mine about that line, talking about we like that snowball going downhill, we getting large. The dude, my man was like, hey, yo, but if you think about it, what does snow do? So when snow gets hit the ground and it's accumulating and it's going downhill, what's the snow going to do? It's going to get large. I'm like, just because a lyric or bar makes sense doesn't mean it's hot. Like, because I can sit up there and just be like, yo, like, when I hear certain things, so when I heard that bar, what I heard was, hey, yo, we stopping like red lights. We going like green. And when I'm chilling, I chill on yellow. It's in between. That's what it sounded like to me. It made sense, but it wasn't good. Yeah. Like that's why I was going with him. I wouldn't put him in the Ice Cube category at all. Like, what you he don't rap better. Prodigy don't rap better than Ice Cube.
Prodigy don't rap better than a lot of niggas. Like that's why I'm like, why would you put him with Ice Cube? Like Ice Cube goes, like for real. Like yo.
Nah, some people might try to argue that point because dudes don't be knowing about the West Coast dudes and stuff. Cube can rap or whatever. Yeah. But Jay-Z gave him grace when he said there was a period where he was. I personally don't never recall Prodigy in my eyes ever being the top guy. Now I do remember him having a pretty decent, good. No, excuse me, I ain't gonna disrespect him. He had a good run where he was just putting out good joints and everything.
Yeah, niggas arguing for him like he was the man.
But during that run, I wouldn't say I was like blown away. Like you're not gonna catch me super repeating a whole bunch of Prodigy bars or whatever. He was personality. He was more personality.
Yeah, he was. It was like you said. He was to me. I enjoyed Mobb Deep. You know what I mean? But he wasn't super lyrical. It just wasn't there.
So these comedians are at Cat Williams. See, that interview has lasting effects. Like it ain't like. It's clearly already done a lot for Shannon Sharp. And it's doing a lot for Cat Williams in real time right now because it's almost like he did something new, which I don't see how. They was like, yo, he's just exposing people. Like I said, I don't believe he exposed too much. I just believe he spoke his truth, what he feels, what he believes. Because you can't really argue that. Now, he did mix a lot of facts in there because Earthquake, when they spoke to him on the Breakfast Club, asking him, well, what did you think about it? He was like, well, half the things he said about me were true, but the other half was kind of whatever. You see what I'm saying? So he could have just came on there and be like, yo, everything he said about me was a lie or this, that, and the third. He just was like, nah, he said some truths. He said some truths. But it was some things that might have been a little sensational or a little exaggerated. So I personally gave him credence for that because I didn't just hear the interview and was like, everything he said was the truth. I didn't believe that.
He's an entertainer. He was going to make it entertaining when he told it. Because my thing is, if you stick strictly to the facts and you don't sensationalize it, that doesn't make for good content. You see what I'm saying? And this nigga is funny for real. Like this nigga is 100% great content. So when he say that the Earthquake can't read, and I was like, shit, this nigga's crazy. Like, what is he doing? But like you said, it was some truth to the other shit that he was saying. You know what I mean? Because he did give Earthquake some prizes. Nobody ever said he wasn't funny.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? Like I mean that with everything sprinkled in there. Yes, he does have a high IQ. So when it's documented that I have a high IQ, then I'm allowed to sensationalize and say I read 3,000 books in a year, nigga. I was reading 3,000 books a year when I was 12, nigga. Like, I can say that if I have a high IQ. It's not true, but it's a sensational, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, yo, nigga, it's no different from niggas when they are, like I was just saying with Prodigy. When I was arguing, I was saying the nigga trash, he don't make good music, because I was arguing my point. But he's not trash, it's just that he's not a top tier rapper, you know what I mean? And I was being sensational because, you know, it was people around and I was trying to, you know, be entertained. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. So he Joe Buttons and them had an opinion on Dave Chappelle. They said he was hating, but it was like kind of passive aggressively how they said he was, because they was like, he never talks on anything. And that's one thing that I'm not a fan of. And what I mean by I'm not a fan of people saying, since you haven't been doing this, then you can't do this all of a sudden. Like, I don't really like that mindset. Like, oh, well, it's almost like the LeBron and Jordan joint. Well, LeBron always speaks out against social policy and things like that. And Michael Jordan never has. So it's like, when Jordan does do it, oh, well, he's trying to be like LeBron. I'm like, no, people have different fights. People have different dogs in the race. People have different times in their lives when they want to speak on something. Like, it can't always be the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that's the case, then we'll all just live a monolithic life. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just what it's going to be all the time. So it's like, take me, for example, when I just be chilling and I hate when somebody be like, yo, what's wrong with you? You're not saying nothing. I'm like, damn, I can't chill. I got to comment on everything. I got to say something. Nah, but you always saying this. All right, well, I don't want to say nothing now. I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that be the crazy thing that be going on like in society. So it's like, I don't fault Dave Chappelle for being that way.
I do a little bit though. Because like this, yes, you can change up, but when you change up or do something out of the ordinary, people are going to question your motive. Like, when you doing something, when you always do something and then you switch it up, it's going to look different. So niggas is going to question it. You see what I'm saying? Niggas going to have an opinion. Like, if you motherfucking just go to work every day and you are a teacher, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you trying to sell me some Jordans. I'm like, yo, where the fuck you get these Jordans from? Like, what are you doing? You've never done this before. You don't do this. What? I'm going to question your motive. Like, what happened? Did these fall off a truck? Something. This is not what you do. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's where they was kind of critiquing that, and it felt weird to me. I ain't going. I'm gonna be honest. Dave usually is neutral on all his comedian shit. You know what I mean? So when he took that stance, I had to back up and listen. Like, oh, what do you mean? Like, what are you trying to say from Cat? Because it was a specific point he made, and that Cat is choosing violence with all these black comedians, but not the white comedians. You see what I'm saying? So I was taking it back like, yo, Dave, what are you trying to say? Because I didn't take it like that. I took it like Cat was come up there to address some shit that some niggas had said. Yes, other comedians caught strays in that, but he was coming up there to address specifically three niggas. Said Ricky Smiley and Steve Harvey. You see what I'm saying? And then he got his Faison shit off too, because Faison had said something about him. And then, you know, other niggas, Kevin Hart caught a stray and shit like that. But my thing is, I feel like, you know, I don't know, man. I feel like I was feeling like, what's your motive? Like, what are you trying to say about Cat? You see what I'm saying? Are you trying to say that he's in bed with the white comedians, or what are you trying to say? I don't know what he's trying to say.
Okay, and you explain that. This is what, until Dave said it, this is how I took it when Dave said it. Like, yo, you didn't call out the power structure, which is white. So when Dave said it, I was like, that is true. You definitely did go at every black comedian. Now, my thing is this. If you have a grievance one way or another, or if there's something to get off your chest about all the people, all the comedians you name, cool. But when you try to drive home the point with the dress, knowing you know the history of Hollywood as well, because you didn't put this, you didn't even bring up Dustin Hoffman in Tootsie. You didn't bring up Robin Williams in Mrs. Doubtfire.
Right.
So my thing is this. The way I took it was he left himself open for that part of the criticism from Dave Chappelle by him not bringing up anybody white. That's what I'm saying. Like, I just felt you could have stayed the track that you were doing, but if you would have brought up the fact that, well, Whitey does this and such and such, then you could have went back to whatever, but he clearly just kept the power structure. He played this. He absolved the power structure and then killed the people that have to fall in line or make a decision to not be who they are. You see what I'm saying? So I got where Dave was coming with that one.
I don't, because it's not what he was saying is it's a thing in Black comedy. It's a thing, like, people, he said, amongst Black comedians, we know that this is an issue. They want you to do this. And my thing is this. I don't know if he got a point or not. My thing is this. It is a thing amongst Black comedians. He's not the first person I heard say this. It's not his thing. You see what I'm saying? Amongst Black comedians, it is a thing. Yes, some white comedians have done it. Not all of them. You see what I'm saying? Not all the big ones have done it. You see what I'm saying? But some of them have done it. I get it. Me personally, I just think that if it's done right and it's funny, the shit is funny. I don't care. You know what I mean? Shanae will always be fucking hilarious to me. I don't care. You know, I was watching Martin yesterday. The shit is funny. You know what I mean? But I just don't, but it is what he was saying. It's a thing amongst Black comedians that is speaking towards the power structure. He's saying it's a thing amongst Black comedians. You can only go so far before you put on a dress. That eliminates white comedy. What he's saying is you can go far if you're a white comedian without putting on a dress. That's not saying that white comedians don't put on dresses. You see what I'm saying? I think that people deflect like that. I think that they deflect from the point. Just talk to the point that he was trying to make. If you disagree with the point, just fucking disagree. Like fucking Marlon Wayans did. He disagreed with the point. Like, yo, I think it's bullshit.
But
funny.
He did, but he kind of stood, I'm not going to say he stood on the side of Dave Chappelle because he spoke prior to, but that is the thing too. It's like, okay, the narrative is only going to continue to be the narrative as long as people keep doing it or whatever. Me personally, I don't have a problem with comedians or actors, period, acting a role, certain things. I don't believe every person that played, because it's starting to get further, because we're about to go down a little slippery slope. So do you believe that and it's a yes or no, because I want to continue my point. So do you believe that every Black comedian that's ever put on a dress is Gary Apple Yellow?
No.
Okay, cool. Now, let me ask you this. Do you believe every Black, most Black actors that play gay roles, are they gay?
No.
But the thing about it is, it's a little more celebrated in the other community. That's the whole thing, because when we play those roles, because now they're really starting to get, they're really starting to only hire people. It's a new movie out called, it was Rustin. It's called Rustin. It was about basically the March on Washington, and he was basically one of the main guys behind the scene that made it happen. Outside of course, nobody's saying he's of Martin Luther King, but he's the one that pulled the strings to make it even happen. Okay, but he was gay. He was gay. And in the movie, they were talking about how it was going to hurt the movement by having him involved. You see what I'm saying? Like that.
Different time, yes.
Definitely, just to give context, yes, it was a different time in American history as well. But Is it so much different? Is it so much different now?
Yes, it's very different now.
How
Very
so?
different.
Between blacks and whites?
What do you mean between blacks and whites, or between gays and straights?
Blacks and whites, because the difference is this. I believe, you ask a question, I believe it's still, even with as powerful as that community is, it's still shamed upon to a degree when it's somebody that's black, that's Gary Apple Yellow, as opposed to somebody white. The acceptance of it.
100% is way different than then. Way different. When I mean way different,
What?
way different. I can turn on every reality show and they have a black gay man on there.
Yes.
Everyone.
Yes.
Every single reality show has a black gay man on there. Damn near every black female celebrity at some point has a black gay man behind them in a picture or on camera somewhere. That at that time, no sir, that couldn't happen. They have come way far. That community has put in a lot of work and come way far. And so yes, I think that is way different than that. We've come it's way farther. And you can just go to places like San Francisco or Atlanta and see that, hey man, gay is gay. It's okay. It's okay these days. You know what I mean? No, that's not to say that in some places it's not discrimination and it's not gay bashing and gay hate. You see what I'm saying? But as in the entertainment space, yeah, it's come a long way.
You know what's so crazy? I believe, yes. No, it's not I believe. It's just the reality of it. So when you say things like, we've come a long way. Yeah, but I still think it's the Queen's race. We work running hard just to stay afloat, stay in pace. Because the whole thing is this. It's definitely not equal. I'm not going that far. It's not equal. It's still looked upon differently. Because the same way you said on every reality show, first off, there's a gay contingent in everything now. So that theory, I think one of the biggest things when people try to fight against to say there's an agenda, there's a faction that's saying that it's not an agenda. And I believe it is an agenda because the contingent has to be included. The inclusion is at a super all-time high. It's at a super all-time high. You can't find one show that will never have, I don't think we'll never not have a gay person in any of these shows going forward. I don't even think directors and writers are going to write a show without it. You'll get a whole show that'll be dedicated to being gay, and they'll throw in the few, straight people. That's inclusion.
When people talk about the agenda, my question is this.
Go ahead.
If you ascend to a certain power, right, in entertainment, and you make the decisions on what gets put out, what movies, what shows, all these things, and you have these powers. And so if you ascend to that, wouldn't you push your agenda? Like if because I'm gonna be real, if I have something, control of something to that point, then everything is gonna be black. It just is what it is. Like, of course, there's gonna be some other stuff thrown in there, but if I can, I'm looking for black people that are competent. I want to tell black stories, black everything. So if I'm in control and I happen to be gay, wouldn't I want to tell gay stories or have at least a gay portion of this in there somewhere?
I get that, but this is the thing about it. We're not in but so much control. We don't got no studios.
We are not.
Yeah, we're not.
That's why we don't have the studios.
Yeah.
But who is, though?
Whoever they are, they're gay. And they're not fully.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, so in these entertainment spaces, a lot of gay people have ascended to the top.
Lena Waithe. That's her. What, for the shot?
Mm-hmm.
She's gay. Cool. No problem.
100%.
100%. No problem. And I love the shot. Or whatever. When she has, the gay portion right there, it makes sense because she is who she is. And that's her sharing her story. That's her able to get her set up. So I get all that. Now, the issue comes when you're an actor. Matter of fact, I was just watching The Parkers. Yeah. Luke Cage, I forgot Duke's name, but Luke Cage. And I normally know these dudes' names, but hell, he was gay on an episode on that. And I was like, put this, he was an actor. This is what made it crazy. He was an actor within it because that episode, Nikki Parker, which played by Monique, was pretending she was on a TV show.
Yes.
In the TV show, Luke Cage's character was straight.
Yes.
They're straight. But soon as they yelled cut, he was a gay man. The reason why that stuck out to me, because I remember my cousin, and I won't say his name because he's acting right now and he's doing his thing. So I don't want any pushback on him. He had told me a story. He said, yo, he turned down the gay role before. So I said, why'd you turn it down? He was like, I didn't turn it down because I had anything against anybody gay. He said the character being gay didn't make any sense. So at first I was like, wait a minute, if this is how the director or the writer drew it up, why don't you do it? He said, no. He said, I read the entire script. This guy was normal the whole movie. And he says, literally in one scene, he would just be talking, and then next thing you know, he just kisses the other guy. He said he doesn't do anything else after that, and nothing before that led the audience to believe that this guy might be gay. So he was like, it didn't make sense to him. And of course, his agent at the time, yo, you need to do this. You can get blackballed, da 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 da. And he said, yo, he didn't get blackballed because he's not, he's just starting to get his feet super wet. But he definitely said it was about 2 years, and then he started getting callback stuff. But he was like, what saved him was when somebody asked him about that and why he didn't do it. And he was just like, one of the directors was like, so you would have no problem playing a gay man? He said, no, I'm an actor. I'm a thespian. This is what I do. But he said, I'm sorry. I just felt that character. He said, literally, the whole movie, this guy's a straight guy. And literally on one scene, you just have me, don't say anything. I literally just kissed this guy. And the rest of the movie, I'm still a regular straight guy. He said it made no sense. So I say all that to say to preference everything. When it's us, it's one of those, yo, either it's almost like put a gun in your head. You better do it or you're not going to go but so far.
And that's what Kat was trying to say.
Okay.
That's what Kat was trying to say. I would say to your cousin, he should have took that role. Like, that's weird. His explanation is weird to me. It's people that do regular stuff and that are very normal that are gay.
No, but he said, no, he talked about the script. He said it didn't make sense. And at first I said, just take the role. And then I was like, once he explained it, I said, I see. It took me a few days, but I said, I see what you. He literally is like, yo, you can't just, he said, Joe, I'm just standing. He said in one scene, I'm just standing and I just turned to this guy and kiss him. He said that didn't make sense to him. He said and he said he never kisses anybody after that, before that, nothing. He never he was with a guy, he was with girls the whole movie. He said, so literally just put this scene just to be able to say we had a gay contingent. And that's what he wasn't cool with. Now, granted, he's landed back on his feet. So it is. But he stood on something for that. And he's a no-namer at the time, but he stood on it. So that's what I'm saying with that. I respected that.
Yeah, well, that's what Cat was saying. But the comedians are going crazy, yo.
Yep.
Cat got all of them going crazy.
Yep. It's something that
Oh, he got your boy Corey. Yo, what's up with Corey Holcomb, yo? Why he do his daughter like that? Did you see
what do you
that?
do? Put me on.
Corey Holcomb, he went on this whole soliloquy on his podcast, I believe,
All right.
about really how he don't fuck with his daughter. And he ain't want to really be with her mom. He was trying to be a good dad, but you know how kids be living with their mom and they get fed all this craziness. So then she grew up to be just like her mom. So he's basically like, fuck her too. And people are killing him online for saying fuck her. I don't fuck with her.
Well, for one thing, I could say with Corey Holcomb, this is his life on one hand, but on the other hand, that's his brand of comedy. That's so it's almost
This
like
wasn't comedy though. He was dead
it
ass.
wasn't comedy, but I'm saying that's it aligns with his brand though.
It does.
That's all I'm saying. Yes, this is a real. His daughter exists. She's a human. So this is not comedy. But in terms of him being like, I don't fuck with you, that part aligns with his kind of comedy. That's what I mean by that. So it's like, it's not 50-50, but it's on the same wavelength. So if he could capitalize off of talking like this, his real feelings, but yet it's like, oh, that was hilarious too, because somebody gonna find it funny. Most people found it disgusting, but that's aligned with who he is. But the whole thing is this: that he's getting killed because there is no cool way to say you don't. It's almost, you're a parent. You can't say you don't mess with your kids.
Is there ever a reason for you not to mess with your kids?
Well, as long as the kids have the one up on you, and by what I mean by kids having the one up on you is, as long as somebody in this world is able to say, I didn't choose to be here, you brought me here, you really don't have.
Okay, the caveat is this young lady is grown.
Well, it's the same. No, you brought me into this world doesn't change with your age. You see what I'm saying? Like,
I understand that. So I believe that you can say fuck them kids. I do. I believe that.
What would it take?
Huh?
What would it take?
You cannot. I don't believe in letting people mistreat you. So, like, for example, if your kid was giving you their ass to kiss, I'm not gonna kiss your ass when you giving me your ass to kiss.
And yet, and on top of that, you still want money from me.
100%. Like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that when you slandering me and you. If I ain't shit, then I ain't shit. Like, leave me the fuck alone.
So you agree with what 50 Cent has done with his son?
Yes, I think it's unfortunate, but I think I think that I think 50 Cent is hurt, and 50 Cent is up with different cloth, and he has to be away from that situation because he will hurt his son. You know what I mean? Because his son be doing some wild shit. Like he not now, but he has done some wild shit. Like take pictures with Preem's son in the club and shit. Like and post him and say something about his dad and shit. Like that's crazy shit. Like, yo.
I saw that picture with Preem's son and him. You know what's crazy with that? So that's pretty much the sons, the offspring's inheriting beefs because it's Preem's son. He's not hanging with Preem. They grown up.
Yeah, but it's not about the picture. It's about you posting the picture and what you and what you were standing on at the time.
Okay.
It was fuck 50 times. You know what I mean? So it's like, nah, you can't do that. Like that's my thing is this. I feel like sometimes the kids get the benefit of the doubt, even though they're not kids. You see what I'm saying? It's like you be like, oh, but that's your son or that's your daughter. But niggas don't ever say, well, oh, come on, that's your father. You see what I'm saying?
They'll say that. They'll be like, that's still your dad. They'll say that's still your father.
They don't. They don't. Ain't nobody say that the motherfucking Brian McKnight when his kids was killing him. Ain't nobody said that to his kids, like, yo, that's still your father. Until he was like, fuck them kids. Then they was like, oh, but they're your kids.
That's because he had a whole other family as well.
All right, but what I'm saying is they grew up together. They had that family when he was still fucking with his kids. They stopped fucking with him because he stopped taking care of them.
I'm just saying, but can you get to a point where you can say F them kids? I think it'll take a lot for me to get to that point. I think it'll take a lot, but it won't take as much as people think either. You know what I'm saying? Like
I don't think people. It's a good thing that people don't get to that point because I think that it's hard to really be loving on somebody crazy style when they saying fuck you and you ain't shit and you ain't never shit, you was shit and you ain't take care of me when you funded their whole fucking being since they were born. You see what I'm saying? And entertainers, I feel, have it bad because they entertainers. They on the road. They doing shit. So, yes, they not going to be there as much. But generally, they do pay for damn near everything. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, but you don't get that. You only with the mom. You see dad when you see him. You know what I mean? You only with mom. So you feel that it's a void there. So you like, fuck him. And then it ain't gonna be too much fuck him before it's fuck you too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's what Corey is. But he getting killed for it. And like that's how the internet works.
Quick conversation that was happening today at the barbershop. Okay. You got 5 minutes to make the decision and to follow through with it. The money will be deposited into your account. And when the money is pressed, because I'm giving you everything before I ask you the question, they take you to the bank. $120 billion. $120 billion. So they say Negro. They press the button. That money is in your account. It's live. It's in your account. Then the clock starts counting backwards from 5 minutes. You go home. You don't got to knock her out, but you have to drop her, your mother. And there's no warning. You just have to do it. Are you going to do it?
120 billion?
Yes. There's no, mom, I'm about to hit you. None of that. She can't know. You can tell after the fact. You can't say prior. Nothing. No warning. No, nothing. She has no idea. It's pretty much a statement.
I think my mom will understand. I think she will understand after the fact. Yo, when I lay these bills on her.
But most people in the barbershop, they was like, they can't do it. They said they can't do it. It was one other dude in there with me that was like, he was like, she's going to sleep. He was like, she's going to sleep. I was like, is she? So then dudes were trying to be like, I'm just saying, fam, I don't, no disrespect. I don't know about your relationship. I'm like, whoa, don't get it twisted. I love my mother like nobody else.
Yeah. But I don't know if I could do it, but I damn sure would try. I might get there and be like, nah, I can't do it.
Well, you got 5 minutes, because after that 5 minutes, that money's going to be right back out your account, and whatever you had in your account, it's going to come from that 120 billion right back to that number.
120 billion, man. Listen, I'm doing that shit. My whole fucking my nieces and nephews and grandkids going to be taken care of. 120 million. Yes, sir. Billion. I can't. 120 billion. Yes, sir. Can't do that. That's my mom might smack the shit out of me if I didn't. Like, yo, you selfish, nigga. What's wrong with you? I'll be all right.
Yo, I just thought that was my version of Quick Time with Slime. Shout out to Drink Champs, because I was like, yo, people was like, yo, it's not as easy as it sounds. I said, actually, it is. I was like, actually, it is. I said, it sounds harder to do now because it's a hypothetical. Don't let, first off, the minute I'm in the bank and that joint says in my account, it's live, oh, you can forget about that.
5 minutes. All right, we'll see.
I'm walking in. Only thing I'm probably going to do is like, Ma, can I talk to you upstairs? Because I want her to be next to the bed when she falls. That's it. Like, oh, that right. It's going to be like, oh, man. She's going to be like, yeah, you got a nice haircut. Thanks. and right in the middle of a sentence, right around here, because I don't want to break her jaw. Right around here, she gonna go to sleep. She gonna wake up in the mansion.
Some crazy. I'll be talking about some wild shit in the barbershop.
Well, it's the barbershop. That's what you do. But
Yeah.
I got to give you some pushback on this because you kind of go this way a lot, and we kind of go back and forth about this quietly. It's not like a big argument of ours, but we have different takes on it. Social media, to me, social media rules are different for different generations. Now, this is why when I put that in chat, for our generation, you notice whenever something goes down, when somebody takes something, and I mean 40s and up, when somebody says something or they want to address somebody on social media, the first thing in our generation, they say, yo, you could have called me. You could have approached me. My thing is, that ain't the world we live in now. You see what I'm saying? Like, social media is the new approach. It is the new respond. Now, granted, I personally look at social media in terms of responding to people. I'm still old school with it, with everything. I'm calling you. I'm getting you on the phone. I'm going to pull up where you at. Because I don't want to, you know what I'm saying, like that. Because I personally feel if I'm talking about it on social media, it ain't that serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not putting too much into it. I'm kind of just looking like, yo, you said this little joke, you said this slick, I'm going to say something slick back. But when I feel it gets to a point where, like, nah, social media not going to be controlling this one. But the thing about it is, people like to say, well, why go to social media at all? I'm like, because that's where we're at now. It's those clicks and likes are addictive. This is why we got Tyrese. I just want my babies. I just want, like, everybody's doing all that stuff. Like, people are putting their phones down or their computers, whatever they're doing, and they're going to town with their feelings and thoughts. And then, here you go, world, post. Let's see what kind of response I get back with that. I just feel that's the world we in now. And I feel you can't use the old school values mixed with the new when it's convenient. That's just my feelings on it.
Yeah, I disagree. I think that real niggas check temperatures for real. So I'm gonna call a nigga and say, yo, what's up? You know what I mean? So, like, and this is coming from a nigga, you know, I don't really post on social media like that. And I understand that people do. And I understand when people post videos, I think it'd be a cry for help. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. I understand that that's an outlet because some people don't have people to.
They don't have outlets.
Huh? They don't have the outlet. Right. But when you have a problem with a nigga, or you think a nigga have a problem with you, or you feel like somebody did something funny style, and you have their number, or you have their address, or you know where they be at, I feel like, you know, you pull up on them or you call them and you check the temperature.
But is that generational? But is that generational?
No, that's real nigga shit. I'm sorry. I know kids that do that shit. They will pull up on your ass, nigga. Like,
but they killing each other behind it too.
Well, it's consequences to the shit that you say, ain't it? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like where I will give you this is I feel like I think people accept a lot of shit to be a lot of bullshit. You know what I mean? I think people accept a lot of BS. I think people accept that social media is a real place to socialize. It's not. I think that's why people end up dying. Because if social media can be a real place to get your point across, get your thoughts across, then it's no checks and balances. You see what I'm saying? You can say all the things you want to say to somebody online that you won't ever say to their face because you know you can see the hair when their arms start to rise up. You can see the body language change. You see what I'm saying? And then you start to tread lightly. You say, all right, let me chill. This could get physical. Can't get physical on social media. You see what I'm saying? So when you normalize social media as a place for discourse or argument or conflict, then it's a false sense of power. You know what I mean? So when you see somebody in the real world and they shoot your face off or they beat the brakes off of you, then you're like, well, why? Well, words have consequences. You know what I mean? Like that's real life. Real life is not pretty. You know what I mean? Real life looks like physicality. You know what I mean? The only way you make a nigga move is if you move him. You see what I'm saying? That's real life. You know what I mean? Everybody respects aggression. I know it sounds bad, but everyone respects aggression. Niggas stop doing shit when you hit them. That's just it. That's just it. Nigga will keep on doing shit unless they feel something. Period. You know what I mean? And so that's why when people say this stuff like, yo, it's just how we communicate now, it's not real. It's false. Because eventually somebody gonna touch you. Somebody will touch you. Somebody will get your address and pull up and touch you.
But then it still goes back to social media because, like you said, because what you just said is what I always been saying, not that, but it's the second part of that. Everybody likes to always talk about what comes after the equal sign. They never want to talk about what led up to it. Because, like you said, the consequences are there, but once it goes offline, they went too far. It shouldn't have went there. I'm like, no, it does have consequences. I don't want to just don't tell me, they hate me on the Murder Inc. page because I don't disrespect the people that passed away and stuff or they got killed. But I'm like, a lot of times I'm like, people ain't out here just killing people for no reason. Now, just because, I'm not talking about wrong place, wrong time, somebody just get crazy and shooting up.
Right.
That's just wrong place, wrong time. But I'm looking like, when you be hearing these murders, regardless of how I might have handled it or how you might have handled it, somebody must have felt that it needs to be this level of violence included in whatever's happening. And that's the part people always want to talk about, the senselessness after it's done. They don't want to talk about what led up to these killings and things like this going on. So you got to tread lightly with everything. Like you said, with social media, talking and stuff. But I feel a lot of it is generational as well, too.
Well, people don't validate people's rationale. Meaning, if somebody thinks different than you, then it's invalid the way they think. You see what I'm saying? So if somebody takes something further than you would take it, then you're like, oh man, they crazy. They're not crazy. Their rationale is, I will die or kill and stand on this level of respect. You see what I'm saying? So if you validate their rationale, then you won't disrespect that nigga because he'll kill you. You see what I'm saying? This is what comes with being in the hood, being in those situations. We all know people like this. We know people that we think are irrational, but we validate the way they think because we like, all right, I know he think that way. Listen, bruh, he's really going to hit you in 2 seconds the next time you say something, and he might not stop. Like, you got to chill. And then we all know the guy that's like, I don't care who is he. And then he get hit, and then we got to we've been there. We got to try to save somebody's life. You see what I'm saying? But my thing is this. It could have been avoided if you would just respect this nigga's rationale. Like, and stop thinking that people was going to, he took it too far. No, he took it the way he took it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. You can't decide what's too far because your level of too far and their level of too far is two different things. And I remember being told before, I was like, yo, man, you crazy to a certain person. And they was like, nah, I'm not crazy. I just don't play with niggas. That was their rationale. Like, yo, I'm not crazy. I just don't play around with niggas or whatever. So,
but a lot of that get lost on the internet, man. A lot of that gets lost when you type in on Twitter or when you making a video. You see what I'm saying? A lot of that gets lost. And then the real niggas who have that type of perspective, they get frustrated because they know that you wouldn't say this in when they was there. You know what I mean? So then they try to be where you at.
For me, and you're absolutely right, because there are people out there like that. That's what saves me on the internet. What I mean by saves me, saving me from myself, is because I got thick skin to start with. I feel there's been times people that I'm actually cool with have said little things that normally, if we was in person, I might be like, yo, watch your mouth. Like, you know what I'm saying? We don't do that. Watch your mouth. But I said, when you're a person that has thick skin, you kind of make it easy for people to feel that they can say certain things. So I give out grace a lot. I'm not saying I'm out here giving everybody a pass because they know Killer OG Oshin is just going to smoke people. But it's one of those, people will say things every now and then. I'm looking, and I just say to myself, I'm gonna let you go with that, because you know for a fact if you was in front of me, you would never say that. But at the same time, I know why you're saying it, because you know I got thick skin and I brush off a lot of things. You see what I'm saying? Like that. Now, I'm not letting nobody out there SMD me to death and all this other stuff, but, you know, people, I leave it open. I'm a joker, so I leave it open for people to say jokes back to me. Like, people done joked on me and stuff like that. But, you know, every now and then, you know, somebody might go a pinky toe over the line. And you know, sometimes I got to go on a DM or something. Hey, yo, I don't really joke like that. I never just, oh, no. I didn't mean it like that. You know, we were just joking and stuff. I just, you know, keep it cool or whatever. You know, but I think that's a line too. It's the pardon me and excuse me.
Right.
It's because I just feel as a man, there's a group of guys there, you can't say excuse me to the group of guys. No, and that sounds ignorant. You can't say excuse me. Excuse me gets you looked at crazy, and they start to think you're sweet. As crazy as that is, they are grown men. But the part of me is more, it's a little more umph to it, because the part of me, yes, because the part of me is a step away from move. Like, excuse me is a few levels away from move. Because excuse me is like, you know what excuse me is? I don't know if you ever seen Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure, Great Adventure. Remember back in the day? And remember the part where he wanted to leave the biker club thing?
Yeah.
Excuse me. And nobody moved. I always laugh at that, even though we know that's a movie, but it's the same principle. He was being nice and polite, like, excuse me, nobody moved a little bit. You see what I'm saying? Like that. And we've been in those situations. I done seen dudes and standing in front of the buildings or whatever. The excuse me gets, yeah, who the fuck is this nigga right here? But the part of me is I don't even gotta really, you know this. Pardon me, fam. Pardon me. Because pardon me is one step away from, hey, yo, move. Because I'm not being gentle no more. It's either move, now it's action. But excuse me, it's you know, hey, I'm just trying to get by. I don't want no problems. Part of me is, look here. Part of me isn't I don't want problems. Part of me is I don't feel like doing nothing to you, fam. Move. It's the nice move. Whatever. At least that's how I look at that one. So Megan Thee Stallion, she just dropped Megan's Law. I had to look up what Megan's Law is, because I was like, I need to know what Megan's Law is, because I need to know where she's going and her version of this double entendre that she's trying to pull off and everything. Megan's Law is the name for a federal law in the United States requiring law enforcement authorities to make information available to the public regarding registered sex offenders. Okay, that is a direct shot at one Nicki Minaj, because her current husband, Kenneth Zoo Petty, was arrested, and he did 4 years for, I guess, something with a 16-year-old, and he had to register himself as a sex offender.
Right.
And it seems to run around Nicki, because if I believe so, her brother had a situation where he had to register as a sex offender. So she pulled it off in terms of the name of the diss record and talk about Megan's Law, because the name of the record is Hiss. I guess like the snake or whatever.
Yeah.
But she didn't really stay in that pocket. So Nicki heard it. Nicki responds by pretty much clowning the way she raps. And,
right. Which was hilarious, by
the way. It was funny. I ain't going for it. It was a little funny. And hold on, let me be clear, because I know people, I'm a New Yorker and stuff like that, where East Coast and everything. It was just funny because it was just on the surface funny.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't look too deep into it to see what she was saying, but she was just like, because it sounded like she kept saying, Pimp C. It's like she said Pimp C name about 30 times. So I thought that was hilarious. But at the same time, Nicki, you're going to have to respond with a record now. You're going to have to diss Megan lyrically. And what's so crazy is, I don't personally have anything against Megan Thee Stallion because I don't know her. But the one thing that I do that bothers me with Meg is this: when are you just going to have records where you're just rapping? You give us a story. It's not always about these hoes be hating on me. Like, it's the same shtick. Now, I know a lot can be said about Nicki Minaj because she has a lot of records of that too. But I also believe Nicki, and I've heard Nicki has songs that have nothing to do with sexuality and all this other stuff either. Now, the video may portray something else because the sex on the video has to sell that way. But for Megan, it's like, all right, you're a baddie. You're okay. You got the Megan Thee Stallion knees. You just chicks is hating. I don't hear any music outside of that. That's why I got to go with my girl, Little Kim. None of these chicks, Nicki included, none of them have a Quiet Storm verse. None of them. None of them. And I don't think we're going to get back to that because I was out maybe about 2 months ago. Yo, and I mean to tell you, all the songs that got the club popping was songs from women. And I was just like, yo, this is crazy.
The kids will tell you that Itty Bitty Piggy would be Nicki's verse. It's a freestyle. The freestyle off the Soulja Boy beat would be that. The kids love that shit. You know what I mean? And it was a good verse. It was Nicki when she was just starting and it was a good verse. My problem with I ain't got a problem. I guess my problem with Meg would be the same as yours. I don't care that she talk about all that shit. I don't care about that. Meg is not making music for me. I wish you would get back to talking that shit and twerking and shit like that, and or start rapping for real. This her last 2 joints was just kind of clickbait, social media fodder, talking about other people to keep her relevant. You know what I mean? I'm looking forward to. I'm not really, but I want her to make music that she can stand on that don't have nobody else involved in it. You know what I mean? Like the last joint, she made a verse sounding like she was talking about Party. And then when Party said something she alluded to, she might not have been talking about Party.
Mm-hmm.
That was corny to me. And then this joint, she talking about Nicki, but never really said Nicki. But of course, Nicki knows she talking about Nicki. You know what I mean? So then Nicki responded how she responded, and I do believe
that shots at Party on this one too.
Right. But never really saying it. My thing is this: it's cool, but make music. You ain't made music in a long time, like regular music. Like I never was the biggest Megan Thee Stallion fan, but she made music for the girls to dance to. She was in the club. Like these girls is passing you. You ain't got no body yaddy yaddy yaddies right now. You see what I'm saying? Like the new chicks is passing you. No, you're not getting played in the club, and this won't get played in the club either. You know what I mean? This is going to get you hot on social media for about a week, and then it's going to be like, all right, but where's the music? You see what I'm saying? And I just don't. It's starting to get a little too clout chasey for me. You know what I mean? Like I understand it's you know your life and you talking about, but it's clout chasey. Like all right, make some music, or at least when you do it, make it good. Like make it so it can play in the club.
Because she don't have, even Cardi got a ring, ring, ring. You see what I'm saying? You don't hit my line no more. And
Right.
she's talking about being in a relationship and don't know when to let go and because the dude don't put say like that's a song.
She
You see
needs
what
to
I'm
get
saying?
some
Like that,
writers,
like
man.
she didn't talk about no twerking, no nothing. She just was and I get it. What got you there is what's gonna keep you there, but it's like, yo, you've got your buzz. Now, this is what I feel. When you do sensational things and things that, like you said, a clickbait, those are the things that gets the eyeballs on you. But once you get the eyeballs on you and the ears on you, you gotta present them with something else. Because after a while, it's gonna be like every time I know I can write for her without no problem. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
All I gotta do is talk about these bitches. They hate. They let them out. Make it on. Like it's always the same thing. Even some chicks is hating. My body is this. My pussy like waterfall. You know, like this is just how
I
she.
don't I don't think people really think about, especially young people, really think about legacy. I don't think young people think about tomorrow. Like for example, if it ended right now and we just gonna compare careers, like Nikki lapped her 5 times.
It's not. No, they're not. First off, they're not even on the same tier. They're not even on
Right. You
the
see
same
what I'm
tier.
saying? And like because my thing is like you was the flavor of the month at one time. Like you don't even really have a career. You know what I mean? Like you was the flavor of the month. Like that was cool. But in order to continue, like you gotta make some real music. Like I especially girls, especially in 2024, hey yo, get a team of writers, get some people around you that's gonna make dope music.
Facts.
Like yo, like just get some people that's just gonna really lock in with you and make some good music. And you know, because this petty stuff only lasts for a little while, man. It don't last for a long time. You know what I mean? And you know, like right now, like I remember a few summers ago, it was a hot girl summer. It was Meg. I get it. Now it's all about sexy red. You know what I mean? Like, but if you don't want to get left, you gotta make some better music, man.
Facts.
I
Speaking of,
mean, and
go ahead.
it can't be all about the clout chasing. Like, oh, let me talk about Party. Let me talk about Nikki. Let me talk about Kelsey. Let me talk about nigga. Make some music.
Yeah.
Like, even if you want to talk about, yo, it's a whole situation that you could talk about that everybody want to know about.
And she's never addressed that. And I was the same thing. Like, I don't even need her to kill Tory because he's already in jail, whatever that.
No, don't talk about Tory. It's a whole situation that the people want to hear about. If you don't want to talk about that, that's fine too. It's different parts of life that you can talk about. You see what I'm saying? Just yo, you can talk about that. If you need help, get help. I think people be stuck in their shit like yo, niggas, like you always say, yo, I don't even write. We can tell, nigga.
Exactly.
Like yo, I
You
don't
don't
need
gotta
no
tell
right.
me you don't
Yes,
write. I
you
know you
do.
don't. Exactly. Yo,
Yeah.
I wanna give a shout out because I really like Nino Man. I like Nino Man. Young artist from Harlem. I like Nino Man. But this is the thing I have with Nino Man. I think Nino Man is struggling, and I'm not talking about his financial state or anything like that. I don't think he's got the super push because he is underneath the locks. I think he got some deal with the locks somehow in Jadakiss. I don't know particulars. This is just on the outside looking in. But I think Nino Man is not getting the support and push that he should be getting because he's actually nice because of how the locks and that J Hood situation went. And I think this is just what I think. This is no facts behind it. I think that people aren't getting behind it because a lot of people aren't giving them a chance because they're like, we've seen this before. They tried to push J Hood, and this is what came from it. And Nino Man actually can go. Like, he can actually go. I never thought J Hood was whack. But once again, you know my favorite saying lately, real-time outrage. I thought J thought J Hood was just okay. Yeah. I thought they pumped him up a little more than what he was. And I listened to a lot of his freestyles, listened to a lot of joints he had with the Locks. They supported him with that. I just never thought he was super barred up. But Nino, I think he's barred up.
For niggas like Nino that can actually rap, I think that they need to just work. See, because it's the game is different now. It's like, it's not really about being mainstream. It's about having a fan base. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if you can work and then you can get a fan base, and then here's the thing, you have to get next to other niggas that can rap.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? You have to get next to other niggas that can rap, because that's how you gain more fan base. You can't get to other niggas. You can't get next to other niggas that is pop. You see what I'm saying? Because they fans might not necessarily want to hear that. Ari Lennox just went through that with motherfucking Rod Wave. She was on tour with Rod Wave. They started throwing shit at her. I love Ari Lennox as an artist. You see what I'm saying? She can sing her ass off. She make great music. But Rod Wave fans ain't trying to hear that shit.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So you got to get in a lane with niggas like you, and then you can take some of their fan base. And you got to be competitive. You got to get on these motherfucking songs with the Benny the Butchers and all the Griselda niggas and all they whole camp. Like, them niggas can rap. You got to get on the song with Jadakiss, and you got to try to fuck them up.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You got to try to tear their ass up. That's the only way you're going to get noticed. That's the only way you're going to gain fans. Like, yo, this nigga verse was harder than my favorite artist verse. You see what I'm saying?
If that's the case, if he wants the shortcut, you better get on the track with Drake or something and body him, because Drake could definitely
it's not gonna work. It don't work like that. You can get on the track with Drake, but Drake fans is Drake fans. Drake fans go to Drake for different reasons.
Well, like, Drake would have to want to get on the track with him. You know what I'm saying? Because the eyeballs will follow Drake over there.
Drake has been on songs with a lot of niggas that ain't pop. You see what I'm saying? Like, you got to have a certain
on the songs with a lot of people that did pop because he was on the song.
I know, but all the niggas that did pop had a certain thing about them, a certain niche, a certain differency. It wasn't because they had bars.
That's true. So
Drake ain't on a song with a nigga that got bars and then they pop. Yeah. He get on a song with a nigga that got a certain bop, a certain swag, a certain thing about them, and then the young kids can latch on to that. You see what I'm saying? But bars, nigga, you gotta be on there. I think we're not gonna talk about Drake because I like Drake, but I think that Drake don't be next to some of the niggas that really rap.
Yeah, and you don't. But that's another story for another day. So we gonna get out of here. This is Oshin's View. Oshin, Willie Negro. See y'all.
Peace.